Welcome to this Windows Computer and Technology channel. And, it's truly the end of an era that we can say for Windows 7. And some of you might not know this and think, well, why are we talking about Windows 7 in 2023? Well, Windows 7 is officially retiring tomorrow on Patch Tuesday. Yes, there was extended support for business. So business that would pay for the extra support were still getting some patches for security updates to keep Windows 7 safe. So this ends tomorrow with the last Patch Tuesday, which means businesses now, basically, if they continue using Windows 7 connected to the web, are going to be at risk. Windows 7 is an operating system that actually was launched in October of 2009, and it reached end of support for everyone, regular users, in January of 2020. But of course, there was 3 years of extended support for paid customers, which ends tomorrow. So I would guess that this is a big chunk. It's a big part of the Windows era. There were several systems that were, probably the most popular and loved of Windows. Windows 95 was one of them. The only time, and the most amazing thing about Windows 95 is people waiting at midnight to get their copy. Then there was Windows XP, which I think was one of the loved Windows of the past. And Windows 7, definitely one of the, if not, one of the, I would say of the old systems, Windows 7 might be the most loved of all. I still remember, when we talk about how people react to new systems. As a tech guy, I lived through the release of Windows XP. When I started doing tech jobs, people were on Windows 98 for the most part. Windows XP arrived. A lot of hate. People don't remember that, but Windows XP was hated in the first year because a lot of things were not compatible. It was a departure of the basic architecture of the old Windows. And so a lot of things didn't work, and people didn't like Windows XP. Windows XP was hated. And you know what? A lot of people moved from Windows XP directly to Windows 7. Windows 7 was hated in the first year. They couldn't understand why. Once again, a lot of their hardware and a lot of the software couldn't work in Windows 7 and worked in Windows XP. So you got to be careful about when people say, well, I hate the new Windows, because every new Windows was hated the first year. Every single Windows. I can tell you that people do not like change, and every time there's a new Windows. Then it's after that you notice that people love the systems. Windows 10 was received with some hate also, from Windows 7 users particularly. But Windows 10 is, I'm pretty sure, up there in some of the most loved Windows operating systems right now. You learn to use it, and you learn to, I guess you learn to love an operating system at some point. So it's the end of an era, that's definite. It also has one interesting aspect. Windows 7 was the first system that adds some equivalent to the Windows Insider program, but it was not an Insider program. They were calling it technical previews. So it was not an Insider program per se. It was more of get an advanced peek to try to hype the system before everybody else. And I remember I had that. There's if you remember, for those that go back to that time, the technical preview had a wallpaper with a fish on it. And so, that was quite a while ago. And I also remember getting Windows 7 as a very cheap discount price. If you pre-ordered Windows 7, I remember if you pre-ordered Windows 7 like, a year in advance or something, you would get it at a very low price rather than paying the standard price or standard fee of getting Windows 7. So interesting, and lots of memories. As a tech guy, the Windows 7 operating system, I liked to fix bugs and problems, but I didn't like when you had to reinstall and format the hard drive, reinstall Windows. The most horrible thing was the Windows update after a while. It was completely nuts. And that's why I love Windows 10 so much more. Windows 7 with all the updates is dreadful. Windows 10 fixed that with the cumulative updates. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up, and if you have memories of using Windows 7, why not share them below in the comments.